The Los Angeles Rams could clinch a spot in the NFL playoffs as early as next week. Here's how we're going to do it. Let's get into the video. So here we are with the Rams, and I just want to go over briefly how this win was massive for the Rams. Obviously, our game against the Ravens, if we would have won that, we would have been in a much better place. However, that game against the Browns, going to be massive. This game against the Commanders, huge. And then also we have two big games coming up in the next couple of weeks where we could actually clinch a spot. But I do want to, mention how much momentum we were carrying into this. The Rams were firing on all cylinders. Yes, the score might have looked a little bit ugly at the end. However, we still covered the spread, and we played a great game. Matthew Stafford, 25 for 33, 258 yards and 2 touchdowns, 83 QBR, 118 rating. Very good. Kyren Williams, another big day. If you're a fantasy owner of Kyren Williams, you are so happy. I picked him up in both my leagues when he was announced that he was going to be starting, and I absolutely have been benefiting from that. 152 yards, a touchdown, and then we also got Cooper Kupp back. He's at 111 yards, a touchdown. Demarcus Robinson had a massive touchdown, and Puka Nacua obviously showing out with another 50-yard game, being one of the best rookies in the league. Now, Kyren Williams did have 2 fumbles, and that wasn't exactly pretty, but Ernest Jones getting a sack, 2 tackles for loss, and a pass deflection, and then that's going to be our only sack for the day. But Bobby Brown getting a tackle for loss as well. Just absolutely killing it. John Johnson with an interception. Just firing on all cylinders going into next week, and we have a very big game against the Saints actually on Thursday this week. So I'll be doing a video on that with my predictions coming up on Wednesday. So make sure you guys are subscribed and stay tuned for that. Also like this video. But I won't go over this too much. Well, I will actually, but in a second. And what we're going to be going over in this video is going to be Jake Ellenbogen's basically scenario where we could clinch in week 17. And I think it's a very likely scenario if you ask me. Now, the Rams could win with an Eagles win tonight, a Lions win next week, I believe. A Lions win this week against the Vikings. And then as long as the Rams beat the Saints and the Giants, we will be in. Now, the Rams can clinch a playoff berth on New Year's Eve if the Eagles and Lions both take care of business. That means week 18 versus the Niners would likely be a shot for the 6th seed. And we do not want to have to go into week 18 needing to win this game or having to have other people lose. We would rather go into that week, just chilling. Basically, who are we going to play in the playoffs? Not are we going to play in the playoffs? Now, how is this possible? The Seahawks' loss would make their ceiling 9-8 if they were to win their last 2 games. The Rams winning the next 2 makes their floor 9-8. The Rams win the head-to-head tiebreaker because we beat them 2 times, so we would be in the playoffs in that scenario. The Vikings are 7-7. Should they lose to the Lions, they would drop to 7-8 with the game against the Packers left on the schedule. So this would basically make it impossible for them to win because the Packers are 6-8, meaning one of the Vikings and the Packers have to lose in that game upcoming. If the Packers lose, that's 9 losses, which falls behind the Rams. If the Vikings lose, that's 9 losses. That's how key week 15 was. The Rams are set up big time. So if the Rams win against the Saints and the Giants, and guys, the Saints game, not going to be a walk in the park. I believe we win. I don't see how we don't. And the Giants, if we lose that game, we don't deserve to be in the playoffs anyways. Really, we need to buck up, win these next 2 weeks, and just get in like that. Now, let's go over this Saints game. How are we going to win? So here we go. Rams versus Saints carry massive playoff implications for both teams. There weren't many people circling the Rams versus Saints on their calendar a month ago, but thanks to a 4-1 stretch by the Rams, back-to-back wins by the Saints, both teams come into this week 16 matchup at 7-7. The Rams are 7th in the NFC and the Saints are 8th, making this a a game with massive playoff implications. As a primetime matchup on Thursday night, the NFL is probably thrilled it decided not to flex the Rams and Saints out. It's not a win-and-you're-in situation for either team, and neither team will be eliminated with a loss, but the team that comes away with a victorious on Thursday night will have a clear path to the postseason. Currently, the Rams have a 52% chance to make the playoffs. That's better than it was at 34% last week, according to the New York Times. With a win, their postseason odds jump to 74%. Well, on the flip side, a loss sends their playoff odds plummeting to 12%. That's all dependent on other results in Week 16, mainly pertaining to the Seahawks, Packers, Vikings, and Buccaneers. But the Rams' postseason odds will be severely impacted by a loss. So really, if the Rams want to make the playoffs, we need to win this game. We need to beat the Giants. However, we are favored in both of those games. It's a similar story with the Saints, who are in a better position than ever with the Rams, or better position than the Rams, thanks to the NFC South being a much weaker division. If the Saints win, their odds improve from 45% to 79%, so similar. If they lose, they drop to 26%. So this is a big game for both teams, and that's how we know they're both going to come out to play. The Rams obviously have been on an upward trajectory. Now the Saints have won 2 games in a row, so they are also on a similar trajectory upwards. However, I think the Rams are rolling at a much greater pace. Matthew Stafford is firing on all cylinders. Cooper Kupp is back for the past 2 games with over 100 yards and a touchdown in each game. Kyren Williams had 152 yards last week and a touchdown. Pretty much nothing can stop this Rams team at this point. And the Saints have had problems all year just scoring in general and being consistent. Now, these may not be viewed as the 2 of the better teams in the NFL, but Thursday night showdown at SoFi carries huge playoff implications. It's virtually a playoff game because the loser will have a difficult time getting into the postseason unless there is some unexpected upsets the rest of the way. So, Rams Nation, this is going to be a very, very big, game for the Rams. You need to be tuning in. I almost went back to go to this game, but to California. However, I am not able to. But if you're able to go, make sure you go to cheer on the Rams if you're in the LA area, so that we can get a lot of home fans in there because it's going to be huge. But just a reminder: Eagles win tonight, Lions win next week, and the Rams can have a playoff clinching scenario in 17 if they beat the Giants, and then we won't have to beat the 49ers. I hope we beat the 49ers. I really want to. However, it's going to be hard. So it's something that we need to be looking at. The Seahawks, I don't think they're going to win. They're not a good enough team to. But that's just how I see it. What do you guys think about this playoff clinching scenario? Do you think the Rams are going to be able to do it? Do you think they're going to beat the Saints this week? I'm going to be making a YouTube video on that very topic on Wednesday with a full breakdown on the Rams vs. Saints game. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and make sure you leave a subscribe. Also leave a like and comment anything that you may have. I'll try to respond to all the comments under this video. But other than that, I'm Zach from ZF Productions, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.